everybody, and welcome to Tech and Tea. I'm your host, Gav Blacksburg, here today with Alex Finn and Penny2X. And today we're kicking off talking about AI tools, which have become all the rage. They can do everything for you. Do your homework, take care of your kids. No, not quite yet, just there. But they can make some bangers when it comes to X. One of the tools that is the most popular in the world right now when it comes to AI is Creator Buddy, of course, created by Alex Finn. We've been talking about that a lot outside of the show, and we figured we should stop gatekeeping and perhaps bring some of the details to you guys inside the show. So let's talk about it. This is a really fun tool. Other things today that we're going to try to hit on. Obviously, X went down this week. We basically just stood still for a 6 hour straight. We had no idea what to do. So we're going to talk about, for next time, to be prepared, what to do when X goes down, so that you don't have to just sit still for 6 hours straight, and a couple other things, which we'll get into. But let's start off kicking it with Creator Buddy. Alex, where did the ideas from this come from? Building an AI tool, you pay $5,000 a month for Grok API, but you still are running out of API pools, requests, and stuff. I mean, talk to me. There's so much going on.
Comes down to is I think we have a once in a lifetime opportunity at the moment. I discovered this once in a lifetime opportunity in August of last year when I used Cursor for the first time. For those new at home, Cursor is an AI programming tool. It allows you to speak in prompts and then AI codes for you and builds you stuff. And what I realized in August is now anyone can build anything they want. Anyone can build any software, any app, any game, whatever you want. And when I realized this, I'm like, oh shit, I can build an app for my audience, put it out there, start a business, do whatever I need. And so I thought about challenges I have. I thought about challenges my audience has. I thought about what I write about, what I tweet about, all that. And so I started creating an app called Creator Buddy. I talk to my audience a lot. For those who don't know, if you're watching on YouTube, I have 270,000 followers on X. I just have like one-on-one calls with a lot of them all the time. I had like hundreds of one-on-one calls last year, and they all said their biggest challenge was finding their voice on social media. What do they talk about? What do they write about? And so I built an app to solve that. I built an app called Creator Buddy to solve that helps people find their voice, figure out what they want to write about, and it's all powered by AI so that you can use AI to create way better content. If you don't know what to write about, you hit a button, the AI tells you what to write about, gives you banger tweets to put out, right? And so the point being is, I think we're entering this phase where creators and people with audiences and attention can start building applications that solve problems and challenges their audience has, and they can build businesses around it, right? People are so scared at the moment that AI is going to take their jobs. And for the record, I do believe AI will take people's jobs. I do believe a lot of people will lose their jobs because of AI. And I think the solution people will eventually find is the creator economy. They'll figure out, I don't need a boss. I don't need a company. I can go on social media, get attention, and then monetize that attention. And I personally believe the best way you can possibly monetize that attention is by building solutions to problems your audience has, right? That's why I built this Creator Buddy. I sat here, this took me about 7 months of coding with AI to do. I built this because my audience has a problem. They don't know what to write about. So you can go in, put in a tweet, right? I got this tweet I'm going to put out once I haven't put this out yet, so no one steal my tweet. And then you can go in and repurpose it. You can hit repurpose and it makes different versions of that tweet. If you wanted to make it a long form post, you can do that and repurpose it in a bunch of different ways for LinkedIn, for YouTube, for video scripts, whatever you want. It's also the only AI trained on the X algorithm too. So you can go in and say, give me an analysis based on the X algorithm, and it'll analyze your content. So basically the point of what I'm saying here is, if you want to stay ahead, if you want to avoid the destruction that AI is going to cause, I think it's going to cause a lot more building than it will be destruction, a lot more positive than negative. But to avoid the downside, I think you need to, one, start building distribution. Distribution's the ultimate moat, right? AI can't take your distribution. Distribution will never be disrupted by AI. And then B, once you have the distribution, once you have the attention, once you have the audience, build solutions for their challenges. And that has never been easier because of AI, because of Cursor. AI takes your job, but then gives you the ability to start your own business and build even more value than you were doing before. And now I'm making more money building software than I was at my job before I quit, right? And so everyone here, this is what I would do. Go in, figure out what challenges your audience has. If you don't know what challenges your audience has, go on Grok, go on AI, say, hey, this is my audience. What challenges do they have? And then build solutions. I built Creator Buddy. Now it's 550 users, $320,000 of ARR. It's growing more every day. And you can build the same business for yourself completely by myself. Did this by myself, no one else, no developers, no marketers, nothing. This is a one-man show. So that's what I was building.
I think as AI takes more and more jobs, the social economy is what takes over anyway. So whether or not you're solving a problem, maybe you're just entertaining people. Maybe you are just a human relationship for these people, because AI can never be a human, right? And I think that humans are drawn to humans. Computers have kicked our butt at chess for like a really long time, but the chess championships are still all humans. We love humans. So I think that like if you create a tool that allows people to increase their social presence, to increase their social value, that's going to go like a super long way.
Let's
that's what this is helping people build better content so they get more attention, right? That's the challenge my audience has, is they want more attention, they want more audience. So I built a solution for them. That's what people can do. You think about, hey, who's my audience? What do they do on a day-to-day basis? What pisses them off? And how do I build some medicine for what pisses them off? I think that's the mindset a lot of people need to have.
Let's pretend we're on Shark Tank for a minute. Alex, you're pitching. Penny, you're Mr. Wonderful. I'm Mark Cuban 2 years ago, pre all the downside stuff. What? Okay.
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm happy I'm Mr. Wonderful. Good choice.
Alex has just presented Creator Buddy to us. Penny, you're the expert here. You're tearing it apart. What questions are you asking?
Alex, I was talking a lot about human connection, and is this like something that brings inauthentic communication because it's not a human? Is this like changing your voice? Are you pretending that you're someone who you're not?
This isn't about, there's multiple ways you can use AI, for sure. There's ways you can use AI to be less authentic, right? You can go in, you can set an AI bot to go out and reply for you. You can have an AI create content for you and you just post it. You can certainly do that for sure. No one's stopping you. This is not something new with Creator Buddy. You could be doing this with ChatGPT and Grok for the last 2 years, right? You can certainly do that, but in the marketplace of ideas, the best ideas will win. And if you're using robots to reply and robots to create tweets, your ideas are going to lose in the marketplace of ideas because they're not as good, right? The other side of this, which is what Creator Buddy is built for, is using AI to improve your content, to improve your ideas, to come up with new ideas, and then using the human touch to make it your own, to make it authentic. Those are, in my opinion, is going to be the ideas that win in the marketplace of ideas now and in the future. There's going to be 3 tiers, right? There's going to be people who use AI to be inauthentic. There's going to be people who don't use AI. And then there's going to be people who use AI to be even better. The people that use the AI to be even better is going to win. The ones that use AI to analyze their content, right? Figure out what works for them, what doesn't work for them, so they can improve and get better. Use AI to repurpose, so to take their original ideas and give you 20 different versions of it that you can make your own. To use AI to discover new people and communicate with new people, right? Not using AI that goes out and communicates for you, but AI that helps you find new people so you can be your authentic self to new people. That's going to be the people that win in the marketplace of ideas in 2025 and beyond. If you want to go and use robots to make inauthentic content and you just say, write me a tweet, then you hit post, you can do that. I have no issue with people doing that. You go ahead, because I know the marketplace of ideas is a meritocracy and those ideas stink and they're not going to win. I'm fine with my replies being all AI replies. Go right ahead, because I know no one's going to hit like on them because they stink, right? So there's no point in doing it. So, listen, AI is a superpower. It's the same thing with the Second Amendment debate, right? Bad people with guns, bad news. Good people with guns, good news, right? Same thing with AI. People can use AI for good. People can use AI for bad. So it's up to you what you use it for.
What do you think is going to happen to the people who don't use AI? Because like, I can't really relate with those folks. I have been an early adopter. I was creating an AI poker robot 15 years ago before people are even talking about this stuff. But I'm regularly confronted with folks who have no clue. Like they still haven't even really used an LLM. like forget about got anything meaningful out of it. And I think you're right. I think going into the future, there will be a percentage of people that just, maybe it's the older generation, maybe it's all generations. I'm not sure, but they're gonna stay away from it. And I'm kind of worried for those people, to be honest, but maybe I should be more worried for people who are getting deeply into it. What do you think?
I mean, it depends on what your objectives in life are, what your goals in life. If your goal is to be financially successful, be successful in the business, like business is a competition. Like that's all there is to it. For every winner, there's going to be losers. Not everyone can win, right? And so, it's like if you were playing in the NFL, which is a competition, and they come out with this new technology for gloves, and all the wide receivers get the new technology for gloves, and then some wide receivers don't get the new gloves. Like they're just going to suck. They're going to lose. So listen, if you don't care about winning in the business place competition, if you don't care about getting an audience or making more money or building better products or advancing your career, then don't use AI. But the people using AI is going to have an edge in all those arenas, and they're going to win in those arenas. So it's just up to you. If you want to win, if you want to beat your competition, you got to use the latest technology, the latest weapons, the latest advantages, or else you're going to lose to the people who do.
Yeah,
in my
there's a lot of
opinion.
people in that generation, Penny, that haven't even adopted things quite easier than AI. I think that they haven't gotten even to some of the steps. I'm trying to think. There's
Like what?
I was having, bro, like being able to use a smartphone properly. Like there's definitely a generation that still is like not even adapted to that.
Rosie O'Donnell was talking about social media. I guess she moved to Ireland or something like that to get away from Trump. And she was talking about how Facebook is still a mystery to her and she could only figure out how to use TikTok. I was like, Facebook is a mystery to you? Like, come on, what are you doing with your life?
Yeah,
That's fine, right? People who don't use the latest stuff, she doesn't know how to use Facebook. Facebook doesn't matter anymore. But let's pretend for a second Facebook mattered, right? She would be falling behind because people would be getting attention on Facebook that she wouldn't have. Full self-driving. The people who take advantage of full self-driving, they're going to unlock extra hours of their day every single day, right? Like I have full self-driving on my Tesla now, and I spend that hour a day I drive every day watching like educational videos on my phone while it's driving. And so I get an extra hour
how do you get around it? How do you get around it? Because I thought it's supposed to
breaking the law.
You get a
watch
mount
your eyes,
above your
isn't it?
screen, and then you put your phone on the mount, and then the Tesla thinks you're looking at the road.
Oh, this is what I needed. This is what I need right now.
There you go.
Penny,
And this is,
you ever
by the
use
way,
this today?
in Minecraft. That's how you do it in Minecraft, not in real life. Don't do that in real life. That's how you watch videos while driving in Minecraft.
In Fortnite, you mean? Yes.
In Fortnite. Yeah.
In Fortnite. Penny?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I know some FSD hacks. It may or may not work that if you wear sunglasses while you're looking down at your phone, you can still, browse X and drive at the same
In
time.
Fortnite.
You got to get the
in
glasses that
Fortnite.
have like the eye painted on the front of it, and that's over. In Fortnite, though. In Fortnite.
In Fortnite.
Very interesting. Wait, so can we pull back up Creator Buddy for a second? I want us as a team just to collectively create a banger for a minute, just so people can see how to
Let's
do this.
do it.
And want something that would fit with the theme of our show. So can we create like a tech and tea banger? How would I do this?
Tech. Well, so here's if you have an idea for a post, but you don't know how to turn it into a post, you just put in the idea. Tech and Tea is the greatest podcast ever about AI. Watch it now, right? So this is just an idea. That's not an actual post. It's an idea for a post, right? So let's hit repurpose on this. This is going to turn into a post for us. Creator Buddy's trained.
Repurpose, not make me a banger.
So the way Make Me a Banger works, let me refresh this for you. The way Make Me a Banger works is it looks at your last 200 posts you put out, sees what works and sees what doesn't, and then makes a post for you based on that. And the way this is supposed to be used is if you're out here, you got to tweet, you haven't tweeted today yet, you don't know what to tweet about, you're kind of lost, you need somewhere to start, you come in, you click Make Me a Banger, right? You come in and you say, okay, start going in there, make me a banger, make me somewhere to start. And the post will get put in there for you, right? So the AI will go in and create that post for you, right? So I built the greatest AI content tool ever and exploded 300 ARR. Spent 7 months coding myself, no sleep, no life, just grind. It coaches you to create banger posts, reply like a machine, and a 10x your reach. 400 plus using it. The feedback is wild, right? Or I just clicked it again. Grok 3 is the most powerful AI tool ever created. 99% of people bookmark this post and do nothing with it. Be the 1% that takes action. I built it, right? So it goes in, it creates content for you based on what works. In this thread, I'll reveal the only way to blow up in 2020, right? And so what goes in, it's trained on all your posts. It has all my posts in here, and it looks at my last 200 posts. So my last most recent ones, sees what works, sees what has performed well, and then creates content on it.
So,
or if I wanted to say Tech ANT is,
the original,
like, let's just create a post raw. Tech ANT is the greatest podcast ever. Watch
I can
it.
see Alex's hands. Penny, do you think he's a fast typer or is he finger typing? I can't tell.
I'm not super impressed with Alex's typing, to be honest.
Here we go. Here's a post we put in. Listen, we just put in an idea. Ever notice how most tech podcasts are just specs and jargon? Tech and T changed my life. It's literally just three friends, geeking out over gadgets while sharing stories about laughing about tech fails. Like having coffee with your smartest, funniest friend. Worth every minute. Boom. Banger post. Right?
Dude, that's actually really, that's better than I would have come up with.
Right? So edit, then we come in here, we click edit, then we just make it our own, right? It's just three friends.
Is it writing it in your voice, like because it knows your posts?
So you have the option for, that's actually, all right, so let's do this. So you have the option of which voice to write it in. So I have a Creator Buddy default, which is actually just, it's Alex Finn, right? I think I'm the best tweeter in the world. So Creator Buddy default's using Alex Finn's voice. You can use your voice, so it's trained on your post. So the moment you sync your post, it creates a your voice for, oh, you can't see it, shit. Because it's like so I clicked here, it's because it's like a pop-up drop-down. You can, basically what I'm seeing here is a drop-down with a bunch of voices in it. It has your voice, which is trained on your posts, and then you can save other people's voices. So if I wanted to come in here and I wanted to, what's Donald Trump's? This is my favorite thing to do. What's Trump's Twitter handle? Is it real Donald Trump? Let me just verify that before I put this in. This is my favorite, real Donald Trump. Yeah. So here's what we'll do. Real Donald Trump.
Who has just Donald Trump? That's the guy who.
Yeah, I typed it in wrong. Let me do this.
Real Donald Trump. Does it need the at? Oh, it has to be uppercase sensitive.
It might be. I'll fix that. And what's going to happen is I can save the voice. Here we go. Boom. So save voice for repurposing. Now let's do this. Let's go in. Tech and T is the greatest tech podcast ever. Watch it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to repurpose this as Donald Trump.
Oh my god.
Let's get some magic here.
In Trump's voice.
This is going to be magic. Here we go.
Imagine it somehow inserts tariffs.
Just discovered the greatest tech podcast of all time, Tech and T. The hosts are brilliant, sharing game-changing insights that mainstream media won't tell you. Nobody is doing it better. Must watch. Let me know what you think. So it is able to, it discovers people's voices and puts it in there and puts
Honestly,
it in.
It had everything down besides for the let me know what you think. That's not.
Yeah, that was, he doesn't care what other people think.
No, everything else.
The capital letters are good though. That's perfect.
Well, the reason why it has that is I train the AI on like 100,000 tweets, and the tweets that perform best have call to actions at the end. And so it always puts call to actions at the end of tweets.
Oh, was it trained on Mario Nafal tweets, and that's why it made the first sentence in all caps?
It could be. It could. No, it's not trained on Mario Nafal tweets. I think it did it because he uses so many caps in his tweets. That's why it's caps.
Yeah.
It's a lot of. You just always have ideas. You always come up with new ideas.
Alex,
right.
Besides for yourself, who are your top three tweeters? Top three tweeters of all time.
Top three tweeters of all time.
Who said banger tweets?
I got to be honest. I think Trump is up there, right? Because here's what it comes down to for tweeting. You have to be as hyperbolic, as dramatic, as polarizing, as you possibly can. And all Trump does is go out there and tweet, these people are fucking morons, or these people are the smartest ever, or this person needs to be eliminated. Don't vote him in. They stink. They're awful. They're ruining the country, right? That's how you get engagement, right? That's how you get engagement. So Trump is up there. Who else is up there? Who else is up there? I don't know. I gotta, let me think. It's a good question. Evan, stock market news. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right. But moral of the story being, you got to be polarizing, dramatic, hyperbolic, hit on the topics that make people, want to talk and discuss. That's how you do it. That's how I'd say you'd be a great tweeter. That's what Creator Buddy's trained on.
Hey,
greatest tweeter of all time, Tekken TX. I agree.
Tekken TX.
Thanks, producer Evan.
Very true. Very true. Man.
I'm shocked you didn't mention that Penny 2X guy. I heard he's pretty good.
Yeah,
Penny 2X is great. You know why Penny 2X is great? Anonymous account. No one knows what he looks like. He grew to 123,000 followers just based on his ideas.
It's a mystery.
That's how you know they're a good tweeter.
Penny,
pure ideas, right? He could have gone sex appeal if he wanted. Let's be honest. There's a lot of accounts that they grow just because they're good looking, right? Penny 2X, he's good looking. He didn't put his face out there. He just used his ideas. In the marketplace of ideas, Penny 2X won, and that's why he grew to 120. He saved his good looks for later. Once he was already at 100K, okay, now I'm going to reveal the face. He got to 100K on good looks, on good ideas. That's all he needed.
Penny, do you have any top tweeters?
I mean, Trump really is the king, right? You can't talk about top tweeters without mentioning Elon too. I mean, like some of his, obviously he's the owner of X, but he was like one of the biggest accounts before it even started. And like the biggest post ever made, I think, was the putting Coke back in Coke, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty good. So he's up there for sure. I like Naval too. He seems to post regular wisdom. Yeah, there's quite a few.
He's goated. Naval's top 3 all time.
Is it just me, or most of Elon's stuff though now is like short quote tweets and retweets of other stuff?
Yeah, his own posts are better than him driving attention to other people, but I think that's his way of like giving back to contributors on the platform.
Yeah,
different than his own personal posts.
He hasn't actually made too many of his own in recent history, I would say. Now, it would take you a good week to scroll through the last couple of days on his timeline, so maybe I just can't get far enough back. But it's interesting there. Yeah, no, those are some good tweeters. Definitely some people who drive some anger and strife and happiness all in one tweet. I would say they do.
That's the best.
That is the best tweet. That's my favorite. It doesn't get better than that one.
High quality posts.
Speaking of posting, or X, I guess we should call it, as we got admonished by an ex-employee earlier today on Spaces, X got attacked this week. It went down for on and off 3-4 times, something like that. I think we all posted X is back, and then it went right back down, which was great. Very helpful. What did you guys do while X is down? Do you just sit there? What's going on?
Well, right now I'm programming all day, right? Like I'm building a product. Like Alex, I'm actually building a game right now. I think when you scrolled my profile, you saw that game at the top. That's not it.
Can we get hints? Can we get hints on the game?
It's a massively multiplayer game, and it is going to have a lot of familiar characters in it for anyone who's on X, right? It's going to like, the world is going to revolve around Elon and his companies, and the people who attack him will be like bad guys. So you're going to see like angry, obsessed congressmen. That's could be initials of an actual congressman. It looks just like the alleged actual congresswoman. And anyway, it's going to be a fun way to just go in. You can like hang out with other people from X and play a game if that's your thing at the same time. I've always wanted to build a game, and it's always felt like way too much work. You know, there's like so many things involved. One of the hardest parts was art. Like I could never do the art for a game myself. I always been super technical. But when X went down, I was most bothered because Grok was down, because I couldn't use Grok, and I'm using Grok all the time to help me with my code. When I run out of free credits on other AIs, or I just don't want to spend money on those other AIs, I'm copy pasting from Grok, right? I use Grok to create the art too. So like, I can do my own graphics for my video games now by just prompting an AI to create art for me. So that's what I was trying to do. I was continuing to program, but I kept bumping my head against the wall because Grok was down at the same time X was. So that was tough.
What do you think is the single biggest area of disruption for AI? Like someone's going to make an AI that does X and people are going to be like, wow, I no longer have to pay other people or go do that thing. And I'm just going to use that all the time.
The first one that's going to change the world has already started, and it's FSD, right? I think the self-driving AI is just absolutely insane. Alex uses it all the time. I use it all the time. But 99% of the world doesn't know a damn thing about it. They don't live in San Francisco. They haven't taken a self-driving taxi before. They haven't been in a Tesla, and they heard from someone like several years ago that it was still a long ways away. It's not. It's almost here, right? So I think there are so many drivers, whether you're thinking about taxis, whether you're thinking about truck drivers, it is absolutely going to change the work landscape. It's going to change the economy because getting things moved around is going to be cheaper. I think that's right around the corner. I think, programmers are being put out of a job because every guy like me who's using AI is now 5 times as effective as he was a couple years ago. So if you already have 20 programmers, it's like now you have 100 and you didn't even need to hire any, right? So that is disrupting things, just even the fact that AI can write code. But as it is embodied. Like it's embodied in a car. My car is a robot with AI. But when there are humanoid robots, when there are other robots besides humanoid that are walking the earth with us, that are, either serving us a drink at Starbucks or whatever, carrying out the trash at Starbucks is another thing that it might do. But when they are embodied in robots is, I think, when you're not going to be able to avoid it, deny it, or I don't know. It'll be completely undeniable. They're going to be everywhere. And it's sooner than you think. I mean, these robots in China are getting really good. Optimus is getting really good. I think Google just put out a couple days ago a Gemini robot control model. So like we're almost there. And once it's in the real world interacting with things, everything's going to change super quick.
Well, I think the greatest economic disruptor of our time has already happened. It happened last year. It's Cursor, or the concept of Cursor, because Windsurf does it, in my opinion, better at the moment. And the reason why it's the greatest economic disruptor is it's totally democratized building, right? Before there was this massive moat programmers had, which is they had a skill that was very difficult to learn. And so only 0.01% of the world was able to actually build software and build products that create economic value. And now all of a sudden overnight, anybody can create products with economic value. I've always been a programmer. I studied computer science. I was a developer out of college, and I still didn't want to build products. It was very difficult and time consuming. And now at Cursor, I was able to spend 7 months building, and I put out a product and it makes $300,000. And anyone can do it. You don't need programming experience, right? If anyone did what I did, they could have done the exact same thing. And so we have this great democratization of building all of a sudden, where anyone can build anything. You can go take a $20 billion company who builds software and then build their product in a couple months. And you just built the same exact product and there's no need to pay for that software anymore. Any software you're using, you can just start building with Cursor. My take
is that people who are already know how to program got superpowers with Cursor and Windsurf and whatever. Yeah. But do you really think that people that don't know how to build can do it? I mean, I know you can do like, if you can do one shots or even get something done in a few prompts, then anyone can build anything. But I am definitely still doing stuff every day to correct mistakes that the AI makes, where I have to get into the nitty gritty of the code and change things that, like, if I didn't have a 25-year past doing this, I would not be able to. So I disagree that it's completely democratized yet. I think what it's done is give existing developers superpowers. I think it needs a better working memory and the ability to understand large code bases and intent of the prompts and like being very specific with the changes that are made before someone can build a company that doesn't know how to program, right? Like you could build a gimmick, I think, right now.
I mean, I think it's certainly harder understand technology. It's easier for people who, have programmed before, but I think it now makes it possible. And so I think if you were truly determined, right, and wanted to really dedicate to building something, you could do it. You could figure it out, especially if you co-piloted with Grok and you're like, hey, I just ran into this issue. I don't know how to do it. Grok, help me out here, right? It might take extra steps because you need to, you, Penny, might have intuitively been able to solve problems of programming, right? But maybe other people can't intuitively do it. So they use Grok and have that up on the screen all the time and ask questions when things break. But I 100% believe someone who's never programmed in their life right now can go build an actual enterprise piece of software. It might be more difficult for sure, but it's not impossible. And I think they could definitely do it and start making real money.
If you're talking about also using AI to learn, I think that actually is the biggest disruptor, right? I learned how to program on my own too. I didn't go to school for it. I got physical books that were like a pain in the butt to go through. And I had a very early version of Google with like very few existing code examples online that I could go through and like look at and learn from and just experiment and build. But now you ask Grok, you're like, how do I do this? How do I do that? And boom, the answer is there. And not only does it describe it for you, but it has everything, right? Like a book has 12 chapters. And if what you want to do isn't in one of those 12 chapters, you're screwed. But you can ask Grok anything and it's read every programming book and it has all the answers. So I think if you use it as a learning tool, it's like you don't even need a teacher anymore. You don't even need school anymore. You just ask the LLMs questions. Use the feedback that they gave you to get your next question and just cycle through that, just iterate through that. I think you can learn anything at hyper speed. It's like super incredible.
I like it. Yeah, it makes sense to me that would be the biggest disruption. Programming, driving. Eventually, I think the combination of AI with some type of physical body will be the ultimate disruption, right? Once you have robots that can then be trained on certain tasks. But you kind of need both pieces. There was a video that was going viral today at an Amazon workplace, and it was two of the Amazon robots that they have moving stuff around the warehouses. And they basically, both of them kept trying to go one way and the other one was trying to go the same way. And so they just kept blocking each other over and over. And it's like, you need to have software that's as good as the hardware, right? And kind of the marriage of those two is going to disrupt a variety of different areas. Certainly, pasting and creating content on Twitter only needs the software, but there's a bigger opportunity of, hey, well, I will have the pasting and content creation to Twitter that will create a audience for my online business, which was coded in AI for a physical product, right? That gets delivered by a robot driving a truck or who knows what, right? You can kind of extrapolate out. I think that there's some pretty fun ideas in the long term as to where this can go. Alex, anything that we haven't hit on yet today that you'd like to make sure we get in here?
Yeah. You asked what to do when X goes down. Not only was X down for me, the electricity was out the entire day here in California because there was a little bit of wind. Apparently, California doesn't know how to handle wind. And so I read all day. I read books. So little hack out there. If you want a bigger brain and more knowledge, read books.
How often do you read books?
Oh, every night. Every single night before bed, I read. It winds down my brain.
Like a physical book?
No, Kindle, because you can turn off all your lights and then have like the backlight, a little bit of a backlight, warm backlight. So it saves you the action of having to turn off the light. And so I find the best way to wind down. Ever since I started reading before bed, like 5 years ago, my sleep is gone 1,000 times better. So, I read for half hour to an hour before bed. Then my eyes start getting a little sleepy, and then I close the Kindle and put it to the side and roll over.
Reading?
So if I I save the last half hour before I fall asleep for fiction. So I'll read sci-fi or anything with a good storyline. And then if I start reading before that half hour, then I'll do nonfiction up to that half hour. So I learn some things in that final half hour before I fall asleep. I do fiction because that knocks you out.
Do you always go to sleep at the same time?
I used to hard in bed, sleeping by 10 p.m., reading by 9 p.m. And then when I started coding and building Creator Buddy, that kind of screwed things up because I deadlines and it's like, no, I got to get this out by this time. And no matter what happens, I have to do it. And so that kind of screwed with my sleep schedule a little bit. But I'm trying to, now that Creator Buddy's released, and now I'm just like in upkeep mode and improve things and add features. And it's not like I have to release the software immediately. I'm trying to get back to the normal sleep schedule, which is hard to do. Once you fuck up your sleep schedule, it's hard to get back to a normal one.
I used to be so much better at those kind of patterns. I'm like so awful at it now. And I think building your own business is just like the worst sleep decision you can ever do. Cause you're right. You're never out of things to do. You've constantly got deadlines. And if you're not working, your business isn't growing. So it's like, it's tough to sleep. It is.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you two sides to that. I completely agree with you guys. My sleep has definitely been messed up for years, but
you look tired today. What the hell, Wolf?
Oh, I'm actually not that tired today. Actually, I could sleep last night. Maybe it's just a perpetual thing. But once you get to the point where you can hire a team to start helping and they're working sometimes late into the night when you're asleep, that's kind of the trick, right? Is building far enough that you can automate it, or eventually, I guess AI will just be doing the work for you at night. Penny, do you read?
Yeah, I do read. I do not read physical books or Kindles, though. Some might say I'm not even reading. I'm an audiobook guy. I have an Audible library of over 200 books, and I've read them all. Variety. I love fiction as well. A lot of them are like more fantasy than sci-fi, but I do have some sci-fi in there too. And just all sorts of nonfiction books of every type, whether it's like parenting or self-help or, relationships or all sorts of different things that I read about, programming, you name it.
I read the Book of X daily. I actually am very curious as to how many words I actually read a day, because I feel like if you added up all the tweets, all the articles, all the freaking transcripts and stuff like that, I feel like I read a ton, but it's not really in physical book form. Really, the only books that I've read recently have been stuff like, Dale Carnegie and things like that. I can't really say I've necessarily had like some good fiction, but I would like to get back into it. I feel like I used to read books and it would make me feel smarter. And I don't know, I tailed off a little bit there. It's hard. I'm just stuck to the phone at night. And then when I'm getting off the phone, it's already so late that I'm like, I need to go to sleep. I don't need to like stay up and read longer,
Yeah, but it's so bad for your eyes and your health and everything to be reading before bed. There's so many things that are to be looking at your phone before bed. It's just so bad for you in so many different ways.
When do you get off the phone?
I try at least an hour to an hour and a half before I go to sleep.
Okay. Do you actually hold to that?
Well, it's not like we're talking about running a marathon here. It's you put your phone in the other room and then you don't go back to that room.
Oh, you put it.
This isn't like a Herculean effort.
Wait, are you not waking up to the alarm on your phone, or you got a separate?
No, I put the alarm on my watch, and so it buzzes in the morning on my wrist and it wakes me. And then I don't look at my phone for the first hour and a half of the day. I wake up, I make coffee, and then I read for the first hour and a half every morning.
Bro's the biggest reader I know. I didn't know this. 2 hours a day of reading?
Yeah.
Good Lord.
It's therapy for me. I feel my brain when I read, like before I read, my brain feels like inflamed. And then as I'm reading, it feels like it's relaxing and like just simmering down. That's what it feels. So it's like therapy for me when I read.
Have you ever read, what was it called? Science Fair by Ridley Pearson. If you like a little, Ridley Pearson, Science Fair. It's a good, it's probably a little bit for the younger audience, but I thought it was really good fiction. If you ever are looking for a little book recommendation, what are you reading right now?
I'm reading 0 to 1. I'm rereading that just because I launched my software. So I'm going to read the Software Startup Bible, which is 0 to 1 by Peter Thiel. So that's the fiction or the nonfiction book I'm reading. And the fiction book I'm reading is Snow Crash, which is a sci-fi
classic.
Book. Yeah.
Penny, 2 hours of reading a day from this man. Did you expect that?
Alex is a bright guy, but I don't think I expected him to be reading 2 hours a day. The only time I was reading that much was like on crazy commutes when I just have an audiobook going for multiple hours.
I think for me, this is like podcasts is my equivalent, because I listen to a lot of podcasts. Now they're 95% sports podcasts, but that's kind of like my version. Like, I don't know. I'll do that. Also, I need to get better. I agree with you guys on not checking the phone right away. I'm really bad with it because my phone is my alarm. And then the second I go to turn it off, I've been trying to even wait 5 minutes in the morning, and I'm not even good at that. I'm pretty much right to the phone. I'm checking, I'm going through, I clear all the notifications that don't need to be taken care of. I deal with any emergencies right off the bat that have to be taken care of. And then I get into, the day, and then I'm like praying, eating, gym, stuff like that. So it's kind of like a little piece.
It was hard for me to even stop checking in the middle of the night when I got up and went to the bathroom. So I definitely check all the way up until I go to sleep at night. Probably like the last thing I do before I get in bed is like any notifications. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So bad for you.
I won't check it during the night because then I know I'll be up. Once I look at my phone, I'm up. And so that's the issue.
Think about every moment you spend during the day, right? Because when you check for those notifications, you're not actually accomplishing. Like, let's be honest, nothing's being accomplished, right? Your life's not moving forward. You're not learning anything, right? So think about all the time you spend doing that a day. The little times when you go to pee, or you wake up and you sit there and scroll for 45 minutes before you go to bed, right? Think of all the time you spend doing that. And then think about what would happen if you use that time to do like anything actually productive. Reading a book, writing, planning, coding. Think about how much productivity you would add to every day of your entire life if you replace those things. Think about it.
Part of being in the media, so to speak, though, is like keeping up with current events, and you can't do that without checking your notifications and scrolling. So I do think that there's something productive about it. Like, I actually noticed that now that I'm writing code 10 hours a day, and I'm not plugged into the timeline, I have less to talk about. So, that can be a problem.
Why don't you talk about the things you're doing? You should have more to talk about. The more you do things, the more you should have. You should have less to talk about when you're doing nothing and scrolling the timeline. The more things you do, the more you can talk about.
I don't have a moat yet. I want to release what I'm building before I talk about it too much, because I agree with you that anyone can copy anything so quickly right now. Like, if I haven't even released my idea and I've shared too much about it, I think it's too easy to copy. I think if it's already out there, at least if I have like a month of a head start in front of these people, it's going to take some work for them to catch up. That's kind of where I'm at.
No, they're going to release it. That's not a moat. The software is not a moat. The software is not a moat. But the moment you release it, if it's good, people will just copy it, right? Your moat is your distribution. Your moat is the audience you have. A lot of the people who copy you are not going to have the type of distribution you have. And so one way to build your distribution is by talking about what you're doing, right? So talking about your journey of what you're building and what's going to sharing demos of what you're building. Look at this cool thing I just added to my game, right? That's your moat, is your distribution. If you release your software, is not your moat. You're going to release it. Even if you have a month head start.
How do you share it when you're working on like engine related things that like aren't really exciting, right? So like what I've been doing is trying to build it to a point where I have a canvas that it has enough features and the basics so that I can start to do things that are interesting and start sharing them. I have done some things that I could share, but like, I don't know, it just has seemed insignificant. Maybe I should talk to you about how I can
find the significance and insignificance. Right? Hyperbole, extreme, polarization. I can take the most insignificant, like I'm going to buy a wrap for my Cybertruck in the next couple days, which is one of the most insignificant things you could possibly do. I'm going to make it the most dramatic thing you've ever seen on your timeline. Holy shit. Look what I just did. I'm supporting Elon. The people coming after Elon. Fuck you. Look what I just did. Like it's good. I guarantee it gets 2,000 likes and goes viral, right? You find the significance and insignificance.
Is there going to be stuff on the wrap, or is it just like a...
Hell yeah, I'm putting the Creator Buddy logo all over it.
Oh.
I'm getting 3 sets of... I'm getting 3 sets of magnets. Here's a little spoiler for everyone, the engagement farming I'll be doing over the next month. I'm getting 3 sets of magnets, 1 for Creator Buddy, 1 for my newsletter, and 1 for my YouTube. And I'm going to go for a week straight. I'm going to have Creator Buddy magnets all over, YouTube magnets all over, newsletter and then I'm going to test and see which grows the fastest. And so we'll see. It'll be a cool marketing test.
Get your Tech and Tea magnets.
Yeah, we'll get them some Tech and Tea ones. Take it out of.
We can do that too. Wrap your fucking cars.
Yeah.
Wrap your cars and put magnets all over them.
I'll put magnets. I can't wrap.
What if we just get Tech and Tea Cybertrucks? So like that way you can just have 2. And then
you write it off. I'm writing off my Cybertruck because of this.
Yeah, write it off. It's that simple.
Right. I mean, you're not paying taxes because you're in Puerto Rico, but for us here in America, we have to pay taxes.
Not this year, but I got the tax bill from last year. It's not
I'm
great.
sure it was
Just commit
ugly.
tax fraud.
You guys pay taxes yet?
No.
No, I wait till the last second for everything I do in my life.
There we go. All right. We'll get into taxes on the next one and how ChatGPT can actually make you not pay taxes. Fun little hack. You'll have to come back to the next episode to learn about it.
If
Penny,
you sign up for Creator Buddy in the next day, you will not have to pay taxes this year.
Sure. Legal advice from Alex Finn. Penny,
That's legal advice.
Any final comments on this one?
Not for me, man. I guess I'll work on getting something ready to demo from my game. Alex inspired me to start writing code again, and now he's inspiring me to share it more. So
Wow.
thanks, Alex. What a good
Gentleman
guy.
and a scholar.
That's what I do.
Any final comments?
Look at your phone less.
Yeah.
Do more things that make your life better.
Make Alex your wallpaper. So every time that you look at your phone, you remember him telling you to not look at your phone.
A little sex appeal on your phone.
Easy peasy. Love it. I think mine's still just the whatever background it comes with for Apple. So honestly, could be time for a change.
Basic.
I am very basic in that manner. That's going to do it for today's episode. This was fun. We were a little bit all over the place, but I enjoyed it a lot. Hopefully you guys comment below if you read books. And if you do read books, tell us what book you're reading right now. I think that
Comment below if you don't read books too.
comment below if you don't read books. If you're like me and you just read X, make sure to
Comment below.
subscribe on YouTube. Check out Tech and T X on YouTube. Check us out on Twitter or X, whichever one you want to call it. But if there's an X employee in the room, you should probably call it X. And make sure that you're just along for the ride. We enjoy it and appreciate you having you. Take care. Talk to you on the next one.